Robert's son is way over. He asked me what I was doing. I told him I was going to clean my gun. I don't know why.
Gun cleaning products, what do I use? Aerosol cleaners are probably the number one. These work really well to blow out all of your parts, remove all the gook and grime out of your frame, your lower, your upper, and serves as probably your first line of cleaning for most of your parts. After that, it's going to be a product like this, or in conjunction with the aerosol. It'll be something like this to help further break down some of the more nasty stuff within your frames, your slides, your barrels, your lowers, your uppers, bolt, so on and so forth. For your barrel, when you get a lot of jacketing in the barrel, this product right here, this is a great product. It works really well. Follow the directions to the T. This stuff can ruin steel barrels. It's a little safer on stainless barrels. So you just need to follow the directions and it will do the job. That's chemically removing jacketed material from firearms, and it does that job really well. Once you're done with all that, then you're going to want to oil it. There's a lot of different oils on the market. Everybody has a different opinion. My personal choice, and has been for years, is this product right here. This is obviously a little large to use, so I use my oil on the guns through a needle oiler. These are pretty cheap. You can find these online all over the place. They're on Amazon, different sizes, whatever. It's just got a needle on the end of it right there and allows you to apply oil quite evenly and not over oil your firearm, your pistol, or your rifle, or whatever it is that you're oiling. All right. So that's the quick rundown of cleaners for me. Let's look at the rest. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at the environment that we're in. So I wanted to bring it to you from my where I work from. So this is my workspace here. This is where I do everything from. As you'll see, my cleaning kit is over there. We'll talk about some of the products in there, and then the PCC itself, which is our topic of discussion, and then our little chemical pile right over there, which we already talked about before. The bigger point to all of this is, if you notice within this workspace, there is zero ammunition, guys. When you're cleaning your firearm, no ammunition whatsoever, no loaded magazines, any of that kind of stuff. That all happens over there on that side where the loading bench is. That's where all the loaded ammo is, and that never enters this area, at least when there's a gun on the table. So when we have a gun on the table, no ammunition. When we have ammunition, there's no gun on the table, okay? All right, safety first, and that's how we prevent accidents from happening. Take a note of that. Look at your workspace and see if you can emulate that same thing. It's safety first, guys. All right, let's take a look at the cleaning process. All right, guys and gals, let's take a look at the cleaning kit real quick. So the wipes. These guys right here, this is the wipe I use exclusively. It's lint-free, works really good on the gun. It's also what I cut my patches from. I use a paper cutter for these guys. And that's how I get my patches for the various calibers. And those are used on the Jag. Got to have one of these guys. All right, when you buy cleaning kits, there's different ones that come in this. Just about all of them work. And that's what's in here. Your picks and your punches. So picks... this goes without explanation. I mean, this is just about for everything on your firearm. Your cleaning rods. So I got a couple different versions here. This one's a non-rotating, and this is actually a military issue. So you can put a brush on the end of this, and you can slip a patch through here as well, which makes this a very nice tool. All right, to have in your box. Outside of that, we've got the brushes. So we got 3 different types of brushes here. We have the nylon brush. This is the safest one to use for everything. You're going to use this. You can use this on your poly frames, your carbon fibers, all that kind of stuff. This isn't going to harm them. These two guys here, probably not going to be an option for you for any of your sensitive stuff. This is pretty aggressive. This one's brass. This one's stainless. This one I use, the stainless is the one I use the least, other than if I'm working on a muzzle brake or something, then I break this one out. All right. Bottle brushes. So these brushes come in a billion different sizes. This particular one here, and you'll see it in the video, I use this one to clean the mag wells, things like this. You put these tech wipes on the end of it here and run these through in those big areas, and they work really well. All right. From there, this is just a, this one rotates, just another option for a cleaning rod. And then these guys, these are window installation tools. They're very tough, and they've got a nice edge on here when you're trying to get the safeties off on a 1911. These slip in really well. They got a nice edge on them. So again, it's just another tool, and that's what's in my cleaning box. All right, let's take a look at the cleaning process. All right, guys, we'll focus on the lower first. And what we really want to focus on the lower first is the trigger group. And so there's a couple different ways to clean this out, but the easiest way to clean this is going to be with some sort of aerosolized type product that flushes that stuff out. And you're going to want to flush it down through here, and it's going to come out here at the bottom of the trigger. Or in contrast, you can reverse that, and you can spray it through here and wash it all out through the bottom, which I think probably is a little bit better. All right, so that's the aerosol type. And then once this is done, if you've got an air compressor, something like that, blow all this stuff out and clean this out really good. Your mag well in here, you're going to want to clean that out pretty good. And a brush like this guy here works really good for that. So you put one of those towels on there, like I showed you before, which is these guys, and soak that with some of the your magic solution here, or whatever you have, and swab that through, and that's gonna get your mag well, pretty well clean. And then of course, hand wipe all this stuff out, what your ejector's doing, that kind of stuff. Clean these components out here, and yeah. So once you get your lower clean, so of course your buffer tube, this guy here, works really good down the buffer tube, and we'll get that nice and clean as well. All right, let's look at the rest of it. All right, so we talked about the lower already and the bolt. So we've got the bolt disassembled here, and the disassembly on a PCC bolt doesn't get any simpler. It's the same takedown pin that's on any other AR. It's actually the same takedown pin. And that removes your firing pin and your firing pin spring. All right, so this we want to clean, and you want to pay attention to the tip of the firing pin and make sure that you're not getting any weird wear in there. Whatever, if you are, then replace it. All right, so in the cleaning process, we want to make sure that the bolt face is clean. This is going to build up with a lot of carbon. Straight blowback gun, this really takes a pretty good hit, along with the breech face here in the lower. All right, so we want to clean that really good. Clean out this groove in here, or the breech face, really good. Make sure that's all clean, no carbon. Get all that stuff out of there. Again, your aerosol type cleaners, that'll work really good. Your brushes, you get some stubborn stuff, you can get on there with a brass brush, you can knock all that off, blow it all off. Again, an air compressor is your friend. To get down into this port here where the firing pin sits, you can do a couple different things. You can either pull the extractor, or the extractor out of here, or you can just simply get one of these type brushes, run this right down in here, spray it out, give it a couple swabs back and forth, pull that out of there, and spray it back out, blow it out with your air compressor, and that's probably going to be good enough for you. All right, so that's the bolt. For cleaning your upper, I use an old lower frame, and this one is no good, so it works as a great tool. We just put that in the vise like this here. We put that in, As we mentioned, we've got the your optic off of it, or whatever your sighting device is. And then we simply pin this pup in place so it holds our lower really good. And now it doesn't really go anywhere. All right. So let's look at the brush process. So we've got a couple things here. We've got our cleaning rod here, and then we've got our bore brush. So the very first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take our swab, which is here, and we're going to want to put a little Hoppy's Love Juice on there, like this. Get that nice and wet. Come right down in here and give that a nice swab back and forth. Now this barrel's already been cleaned, so as you can tell, it comes out clean. The idea is keep swabbing this, change these swabs out. This is your consumable product or part or material. Keep changing these out until the barrel starts to come out somewhat clean. From there, then you're going to take your brush, screw your brush on here, and then do a scrub. All right. I would recommend using a bronze brush for this, and you just give this a nice pass back and forth just like that. All right, once you have that off of there, get rid of that, screw that off, put your swab back on, and give it a nice clean again until that comes out nice and clean. And well, gee, maybe I could have done a better job when I cleaned it, right? Anyway, keep doing that until it comes out somewhat clean. You want it to be satisfactory. The idea is to get all that grime and grudge out of your barrel so you don't tear it up. You can build up so much material in there where you'll actually start to ruin the barrel over time. That's for your pistols and your rifles. You know, here we're talking strictly about the rifle. So again, swab that back and forth just like that until that comes out nice and clean. All right, let's look at oiling it. All right, guys, as mentioned before, we don't want to over oil stuff. So again, just re-emphasizing the point of these needle oilers. If you already have one, good for you. If you don't, check into them. We don't want to over oil things on our firearms. It can lead to a lot of problems. As I mentioned before, firing pins. I do not oil firing pins. They get cold, they get gummy. Last thing you ever wanted to do is have your firing pin hang in that forward position as that bolt, your slide, whatever comes forward and you slam fire around. Okay, so don't oil the firing pins, but everything else on the gun, we talked about oiling the lower, we talked about oiling the upper, your barrel, oiling your bolt. So we want just a minuscule amount of oil on the bolt here on your contact points where it slides inside the upper. All right. And then, of course, across the gas key. And that's really kind of it for oiling on a PCC. Okay? So, good luck, guys.
Are you ready?